Good day, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I have been sent this Paul Rubens Academy Watercolor set and Chikan Hui. I looked it up. I know how to say it, but I don't know what it means. So it is the student grade, I believe. So I spent some time swatching things out. They're beautiful colors, nice array of colors. I'll open the package and show you the box. Beautiful box. This is the product information. It shows the pigment numbers, and they are beautiful, beautiful color range. So let me tell you what I did. So I did swatch them out on this glitter paper swatch sheet that they included in the packaging. Here is that they are used, so I did my due diligence in using them, unwrapping them. I have a little tip for you. You know, if you don't, they move around a little bit, but not much. There's half pans, 24 half pans, and 2 extra. This is a lunar or a Mars black, which is PBK 11, which is that granulating black that you can put with other colors and it'll settle down, and then you can see a lot of cool texture. And this is an extra ultramarine. That's cool. So there's that. So I did some extra work, and I'll cover this side up so you don't see what I painted. But I did these leaf swatches, and they turned out really, really nice. I sprayed my paints down before I started, but I don't think you need to. I think once you get started with them, you know, and get some water and get them activated, you don't have to spray them down. You can spray them down, and then that will release the pigment more easily. It is, I don't want to edit this, so I'm trying not to get lost on my words. So it does really well in releasing the pigments right away. When I sprayed them down, they dried really quickly. So I just wet them as I go. Now, the more pigment you get on a swatch, I don't know if you can see that or not, but there are some shiny spots. But these turned out really good. I noticed it more on the alizarin crimson hue and the purple lake, not so much on the others. But I had a lot of pigment on my brush. So then I thought, okay, I'm going to do some mixing. So I did some mixing, and I got some beautiful colors. Beautiful colors. I got a great orange, beautiful green, and then I mixed the yellow, red, and blue together and got a nice grayish black color, and a beautiful violet, a beautiful navy, kind of neutral blue, a couple different kinds of greens, and I did greens, all different kinds of greens that really came out beautiful. I do like greens because I like landscapes. And then I got this nice burgundy and this deeper, smokier violet. So that was fun. And then I thought, well, I'm going to see if I, can mix some earth colors. And I did. These are mixes. This is that navy I had on my leftover on my palette, and I mixed some Mars black in it. And there's some beautiful granulation in that. And this is like raw umber and I can't remember. And this is like ivory black, and I dropped some raw umber in there. And then I tried to make, it didn't really have a Indian red or anything in there, but that's okay because you can mix. These are wonderful for mixing. So I got this red earthy tone, and then I mixed some white with that flesh color and this red earthy tone, and I got this pinky earth pink. It's really, really pretty. And then I did some glazing, and if I went over more than once, it did start to lift. However, if you're just doing a glaze and you leave it alone, which you should in watercolor, then it glazed perfectly. It was pretty easy to lift. I didn't find anything real staining. This that I did, I can't remember the colors I did. I should have wrote it down, but you can see where it stained the paper a little bit. And then down here on this alizarin crimson too, it stained the paper a little bit, but still lifted pretty well. And I didn't use any excessive measures. I used this filbert brush. It's a Princeton Velvet Touch, Filbert number 8. It's got a little stiffer bristles on it than my synthetic squirrel, which I started off with, but it just wasn't lifting very well. So, you know, the Princeton Neptunes. So I went to the Princeton Velvet Touch, and it just gave me enough scrubbing ability to get that good lift. Okay, so I did that, and then I did this little painting. And I was just seeing how the colors flowed on the paper. I did a wet and wet wash, and you know, I used that. I think this color, it's called flesh color, but I think it's more of a Naples yellow. So I put it in the sky, and I was just playing. I did this really fast. This is permanent rose, and I put too much pigment on there. I wish I would have watered it down just a little bit more. And then I did this tree. I really love this tree. And what I did was I took black and mixed it with indigo or ultramarine, and then mixed a couple greens. And then I took burnt sienna and dropped it in on the trunk, and then did a shadow color down here. I like it. I love to do pine trees or evergreen trees. I think they're easy and fun, and you just hardly can't go wrong with them. So I really enjoyed this little painting. I probably won't do any more with it. And then I just played around with the pigments, and I just looked on Pinterest and went and kind of changed things around a little bit to make things my own. I hand drew this heart and then put botanicals inside it. And I never erased my pencil marks. So I did that. I'll do that. And that turned out pretty good. I was just making these tiles, and I just wanted to see how the pigments flowed, how I could drop in, how I could get a tonal change, doing tone on tone, value changes, and I, liked it. It's not perfect. I was just playing, but I really, really enjoyed these paints. Now, I typically use palettes like this, that I've got plenty of room for my brush, and so that was my only hindrance. But if you buy a set of paints like this, then more than likely you're going to get half pans. If you use a couple colors up, you could buy some full pans. I got these off of Amazon, and then fill them up, and they would fit in there just fine. They would fit. I don't think they'd fit in the middle. However, they would probably fit if you used up some colors or one particular color. They're going to fit in there just fine. So you could refill and use this palette, which I think I'm going to do. I'm going to use this palette. Once I got it wet and the pigment activated, I didn't have any trouble getting in there and getting the colors I needed. So, and the mixing capabilities were really, really good. So I got things dirtied up here, which I don't mind. So I do appreciate that they have a white and a black and a Mars black. So I enjoy using blacks to mix with my other colors to get a deeper value, and I enjoy the white to mix with my colors to get a lighter pastel value. So I like these paints. I will list them and link them in the description below, and if you're interested, and I'll also put them on my community site so you can get them there, and I'll pin it in the first comment below so you can find it there. So I hope you enjoyed this review of this video. I really enjoyed these paints. They asked me for an honest review, and that's what I have given you. I have given you an honest review. I didn't have any problems with these paints at all. They almost feel like professional paints. So I have the Paul Rubens professional paints, and the only difference I can see is the pigment formulations. So, but ultramarine is PB29. I think they're clear. They don't get milky when you wet them. Some paints, let me show you. Some paints, when you wet them on the top, they'll turn white. But this really doesn't. This really just leaves a good, pretty, transparent, these are beautiful paints for a whole lot less money than professional paints. Let's try to put some water in it, see if it spreads. It reacts well, as expected. It blooms nice. I wanted you to see how these flow. Some pigments flow more than others. This is wood pulp paper. This is an Arteza sketchbook. So it dries really, really fast. So you're not going to get that's permanent rose. It flows really, really well. Here is a cadmium hue. This is not real cadmium. That's another difference too. They cut out some of the more expensive pigments to cut down on the cost, I'm sure. But isn't that pretty? Now they don't flow like Core does. Core just shh, but it has that aquazole in it, so you know these act very nice, I think. I'm gonna turn the paper so you can see. I think they're beautiful, beautiful paints for student grade. I think this would be a really nice set to start off with without breaking the budget, you know? I mean, some of those professional paints can cost really a whole lot of money, sometimes up to $200 to $300 for this size of the set. And I didn't find any limitations in my mixing capabilities. They came out bright and saturated. Let me get that other. You know, they made beautiful muted tones. I just loved them. I just loved them. You got cool reds, you got warm reds, you got cool yellows and warm yellows. You got cool blues and warm blues. I think I got it backwards here. And this pan this tray lifts out. I actually think I've got them backwards. And puts them back in. You can take them out, lay them over here, and you can have extra mixing space in here. The edges are rolled. And, you know, I think they're just beautiful paints. They are student grade. So the light fastness, let's see what the light fastness says. They do have light fast ratings on them. You know, so I don't think you can go wrong with these. I think that they're a good set to start off with. So I'm going to leave it at that, and let me know if you have any questions below, because I do have a consultant at Paul Rubens, and she was so sweet to reach out to me to try these paints, and I would definitely recommend these to buy. Let me pull that down. Gosh darn. So I think these are beautiful paints, and you know, I would definitely recommend them for the beginner or the intermediate painter. And you know, let me know what you think. Have you tried these? Do you have a different experience in doing this? Because I would like to know. Leave me a comment below, and let's get a conversation going about these paints. Talk to you later. Bye.